Okay, let's go ahead and kick it on over. So before we get too started into anything, too far into anything, let's go ahead and welcome anybody out there who's watching. If you're watching over on YouTube, please take a moment to give the video a like if you liked it, and then go ahead and give me a follow if you don't mind. So not too long ago, we just got done with our first mission on this current contract on Trelloc Prime. Now it's going to be time to go ahead and get everything repaired. So for those of you who don't know, MekHQ, there's a lot of stuff that happens kind of in this window in the MekHQ side. It's can be a little tedious, might be a little boring to watch for some folks. For some folks, this is kind of the interesting part. This is the management of your company. This is where the nuts and bolts happen. Some people only like the fighting side or the MegaMek side. Also, just kind of a side note, I did go ahead and make a X account as well as a Blue Sky account that have the same name as this channel, as Heck and Doc. So please feel free to go over there, follow. I'm gonna try to put up my schedule for the week every week on about Sunday. So hopefully, if you want to watch, you can jump in and join. Okay. And then from there, we have a couple of things that were damaged, but we got to wait for all of our units to get back. Let's go ahead and advance the day. Oh no, we have wounded people. So something, I was playing around a little bit ago, something I just noticed with this new version of MekHQ is that you can drag and drop these tabs now, which is wild. That is absolutely bonkers. Also, the last time I was talking to y'all, I was talking about all the versions where some things were introduced. Anything where I said it was 49 point something, ignore that. It was 50 point something. I kind of forgot that we were on the 50s because I'm a dum-dum. Anyways, let's go ahead and make sure that we get this guy taken care of, assign him to a dock, and then let's go ahead and see what happens. Okay, so all of our qualities have improved. Oh, that reminds me, I need to drop a ticket for the stuff not being reversed. Then we can go ahead and advance again. Advance one last time. Are they still out there? No, they came back at some point. So let's go ahead and go to the repair bay. So our archer took a little bit of damage and mostly needs reloaded. It just needs some armor. Fortunately, it has standard armor. Same thing with the blackjack. It just needs a little bit of ammo, and the Shadowhawk just needs a little bit of ammo. So off to a pretty good start. I always like to start repairing with my lowest techs, so like your ultra greens, and have them do those mundane tasks that they can't screw it up, because the way they gain experience is just by doing tasks. It doesn't matter what the tasks are, they just have to roll a dice. And so as they do tasks, as they roll dice, they level up. Oops, well, that was lucky. And then, oh, nice. Okay. And luckily, this is low-hanging fruit, so we can just have him do most things. 50 minutes. We still got 50 minutes. Okay. Shadowhawk. Now, of course, you could do like instant mass repair and things like that. I just don't like doing that for whatever reason. I like doing everything manually. Call me crazy, but that's just what I prefer. So we'll advance a day. Maybe. I have noticed that this nightly that I'm playing off of does seem a little slow to load some things. Oh, we have a facility assault. Oh no. Oh dear. And it's another turning point. Okay. So let's take a look. Area of operations. I think that's where our facility assault is. Yeah, sector 0 on grid 0104. So 0104 right there. So let's take a look. What are we doing? Where are we supposed to do for this? A hidden enemy-controlled facility has been identified for destruction. This installation is too valuable to remain in enemy hands, and its defenders must be eliminated to ensure it is no longer operational. Your mission is to destroy at least 75% of the defending force. This is not an occupation. This is an eradication. The priority is destruction, not capture. Not capture. Where was I? Yeah. Do not concern yourself with securing the facility. The enemy will fight to protect the installation, but their defenses will crumble under sustained pressure. Crush their forces, level their defenses, and ensure that when this battle is over, the facility is of no use to anyone. The victor will control the battlefield at the end of the engagement. This is very nice. If the facility remains salvageable after the assault, we will destroy it. The enemy will be left with nothing but ruins. Execute with overwhelming force and leave no doubt about who owns this battlefield. Facility will be destroyed if 75% of turrets are destroyed. Your employer has deployed alongside you in an integrated force. And then additional ally ground forces are approaching from the tank base. Facility can be captured if 75% of the designated buildings remain intact. If 75% of the hostile force is destroyed, crippled, or forced to withdraw. Destroy or rout 75% of the defending force, +1 SVP if succeed, -1 SVP if failed. And then additional objectives. Some of these things are mutually exclusive, which can be a little frustrating at times, I guess. Okay, so when is this going to be? 03 of 24. So we've got 3 days until this actually happens. Really quick. So after most battles, I do like to take a look to see, is there anything I can do in terms of XP? And there's really not. So looking ahead to what all is going on, I think we need to take a look to see who we're going to take with us. So Able Lance is essentially my super heavy, or my assault lance. So we've got a Warhammer, Thunderbolt, Highlander, and a Stalker in there. Let's go ahead and take a look at those. So when we're looking at the lances, the Highlander, it's more of a standoff kind of mech. So it's got the Gauss rifle that just has an enormous range on it. The LRM-20, which also has a pretty fantastic range. And for up close kind of stuff, it's got the SRM-6 and the 2 medium lasers. The Gauss rifle can work close, but it doesn't work as well. And so this is not the kind of mech that you want to be standing up next to something and just brawling it out. Even though it has an okay amount of armor, it's not the right mech for the job. And if you're trying to do that kind of a stand-up fight, you're going to be over on heat every single time, because your SRM-6 is going to give you 4 heat, medium lasers another 6, and then if you're trying to move, run, walk, anything like that, you're going to be in for a world of hurt. The Stalker, this is just such a great mech for just standing there and just taking the punishment. It doesn't have quite as much armor as the Highlander does, but it'll walk up to you and it'll cause problems for you. So it's got 4 medium lasers, 2 large lasers, and a pair of SRM-6s to go along with his LRM-10s. So, if you're just going to go ham, it's not hard to easily dump like 1 large laser and most of your medium lasers, or all of your medium lasers and an SRM-6, and be pretty okay on heat and try to just do more damage before somebody hurts you. Warhammer, again, this is just a fun one. It doesn't do good in the close-up fights either, unfortunately. It doesn't have the armor, but the PPCs can do some really good work at long range. And then the Thunderbolt, this is probably also, all of my assault mechs are just not fantastic for just running up and hitting somebody in the face, but we're going to make it work somehow, some way. Because my only other option is to send that, the heavy / medium lance in with the Archer, Shadowhawk, Blackjack, and Rifleman, and I just don't think that's a great idea. But let's take a look really quick. Let's see what they're bringing to the fight. So my allies, they're bringing along a Flashman, which is just, it's a laser carrier is essentially what it is. And then an Orion, which is a fun mech, in my opinion. The enemy base, they have a heavy flak turret and medium flak turret. Turrets can be really annoying depending on what all they bring, but the flak turret shouldn't be too bad. And then they'll have an Ostrak, Crusader, and Ossal. I'm not familiar with the Ossal, but the Ostrak and the Crusader can cause some problems. The Ostrak might also cause some problems depending on how things go. And then eventually, one day, we will have a whole bunch of Condor heavy tanks and Manicore heavy tanks show up. Lastly, they are trying to evacuate some stuff. The maximum heavy hover transport, if you ask my brother, that's like god tier, but most people will not disagree with him or will not agree with him. And then everything else is going to be pretty meh, whatever. It shouldn't be too hard to stop that stuff though. And honestly, if they leave the battle or leave the map, then they're doing us a favor anyways. So we'll go ahead and advance a couple of days here. Cool. All right, so I have to have this deployed before the day hits. So here's what I'm going to do. I want to keep on exploring and seeing kind of what else is going on. So we'll drop a patrol lance. Then we're also going to go ahead and drop Able Lance. Can't really commit anybody else. So boop, we'll do that. And then we'll kick back and we'll wait for a minute. 23rd. So the next day. All right, my tech is still just absolutely going crazy. I wish I knew how to stop that from happening, but I don't. All right, and I think there's nothing to it but to do it. Okay, let's kick it. So this essentially just reiterates exactly what we're supposed to be doing and what we will be doing, what our objectives are. Okay. Okay, so got everything all set up, ready to go. Let's go ahead and kick it. Cool. So we did pretty okay. It looks like the evacuating units beat us on initiative, but that's it. Oof, I mean, that is just rough for them. BV of 19,000 on my team, BV 5,600 on their team. That is unfortunate. All right, so what do we have? So this is where their maximum, their heavy hover APC are. In order for them to get out, they're not going to be able to go through the buildings at all. So they're either going to have to go north or straight towards us in order to get out. So ideally, even just starting out, you know, the turrets aren't going to be going anywhere. The Prowler, I'm not going to worry too much about right now. But if I can get these two pretty early off, then that would be great. They're going to have a lot of cover with these woods, but we'll jump off that bridge when we get there. So if we can have something that's covering down here, you know, these guys are going to do a pretty good job of covering it. But if we have something covering down here, then we should almost be able to cover their escape if they come down through here. And then if we have something north coming across the north side, then we should be able to cut them off before they're able to make too much speed, but we'll see what happens. I think that would be a good job for the Highlander. because he'll be able to get there probably in 2 turns. As for the south spot, I think that would be the best for the Stalker, because if they do get a little close and as they deploy, well, the Ostrak deployed north. But that's going to be more of a standoff fight. Yeah, the Stalker should probably come south, and then if he needs to, he can work through the city. Yeah. Let's do that. Okay, so they're going to stick pretty hard to that north side. I think the smart move is going to be to keep all of my distance players together. Whoops. Thunderbolt can play the middle, though. He's my fastest one anyways. All right, so Prowler just moved up a little bit. I'd like to stay out of range of the LRM, but we'll see what happens. Why don't we go ahead and have Mr. Stalker do that? You'll be fine. I think you can make a piloting skill check of 1. If you can't, we have a lot of questions, like why are you rolling 0 dice? Okay. So their Ostrak isn't going to help them out at all. Yeah. Oh, that's not what I expected that Maxim to do, but that's okay. That's fine. He's probably going to have a bad day, but if we can keep to walking, then that would be more or gooder. Okay. In case it wasn't abundantly clear, I'm not actually good at this game, guys. All right, so the Stalker probably isn't going to be able to do anything from here, so you can just skip firing. Who do I care more about? So the heavy over ABC, it's got machine guns. It can't do anything to me, really, but the Maxim can actually cause some problems if we're not careful. So step 1, do I have to do any twisting? No, I definitely do not. Oh, but that Maxim is just in medium range. What do my hits look like? Where do I want this? Let's put this here. Well, that's gross. Oh, because the woods are in the way? Come on. All right. So why don't we do this? We'll go ahead and shoot at the heavy hover APC instead. So fire, fire, and can't hit with anything else, so you're done. Yeah, you know, you're going to get toasty, but that's okay. That's fine. A little heat never hurt anybody. If you didn't want to get hot, then you came to the wrong town. I mean, really, all of these options suck. Yeah, that'll be fine. Let's see what happens. Hold on, I want to stop this player list from coming up every time. Game. Nope. Should be client settings. Maybe. Yeah, okay. Player list. Hide. I don't care. All right, so the Flashman, he fired a whole bunch of lasers and he misses everything. The Highlander also misses everything. The Assault, large laser hits on the Warhammer in the center torso. Searchlight is destroyed by still 14 armor. The Orion gets a hit on the left torso with his medium laser on the Crusader, dealing a total of 5 damage. The heavy flak turret apparently has shots on the Stalker and hits with an AC2. The Stalker takes 2 to the center torso and takes 1 to the right arm. Takes... Oof, who did that? Oh, you have LRM-5s. Good to know. And then 4 missiles hit the Stalker's left arm. The Warhammer PPC hits center torso of the Assault. Then LRM-5 at my Warhammer from the Maximum Heavy Hover Transport hits on the right arm. The Crusader hits an LRM-15 with a total of 9 missiles striking on our allies Orion, taking damage to the right torso and the left arm. Not ideal, but not terrible either. All right, so my Warhammer's up to 3 heat. The enemy also is cooking a little bit. And we lost initiative. Womp, womp. Okay. What to do? I think the right move... Let me look at something here. I mean, I think the right move is going to be to have the Stalker come up and join the fight in the north. Because otherwise he's down there all by his lonesome, and that's no fun for anybody. You're a 3-5, so you can totes turn. And then who's next? I think we need to put these woods in between us and their mechs, because either they need to get up close to us and engage us, or they need to stay on their side of the woods and mind their own business. The only downside is that if they decide to walk around, they're just going to kick us in the head, which is unfortunate. Yeah. Yes. Yes, just got to commit. I mean, although if those hover APCs just end up running away, we're still fine. We're still okay. All right, so you can twist and you can shoot at things. I really want that Maxim to go away. It's 9 to hit, that's fine. Yeah, out of range for everything else though. And then you can't really see anything. Yeah, you can't see those. So we'll skip you. I mean, that's worth getting a little toasty for, right? If that's not worth getting toasty for, I don't know what is. But how hot do I want to get? I don't. No, no, that's a little too hot. So we'll avoid just completely roasting our pilot. But, however, yeah, might as well. Might as well. All right, so Highlander hits with the LRM 20. Critical hit on the turret. Turret is locked on the Maxim and -1 movement point, +2 to all driving skill rolls. That is a bad day for the Maxim. Also, the flashbang misses on everything. The Warhammer hits with both of his PPCs. 1 hit on the left arm, 1 hit on the right arm, 10 armor remaining each. Thunderbolt misses the large laser, hits on one of the medium lasers, hits on another medium laser, and hits with one of his 2 SRMs, doing some more damage to the right leg, left arm, and the left leg. Crusader misses everything. The Crusader took greater than 20 damage, has to make a piling skill check, so he passes. He succeeds. Go him. So now time for the Stalker to make a play. Oh, this is melee. Okay, I'm probably going to have to let stuff cool down this turn, unfortunately. It would be great if my Stalker was just a little closer. Gosh, that's just a bad move on everything. Okay. I don't love this, actually. I don't love this at all. So I think the right move here is just back up, let them make the plays, and then we can react a little bit on the next turn. Actually, if they're gonna hang back there, oh, I'm gonna hate myself for this, but don't do anything. And for you, you're warm. You're a little on the warm side. Yeah, we'll do that. We're gonna have to let these guys cool down a little. Otherwise, nothing's going to go over very well. No, I put him in the wrong place. No. Can I hit with the Gauss rifle? Probably not. Oh, tens. No. All right, well, might as well risk it for the biscuit. Not ideal, but it'll have to work. It will have to work. Stalker is useless. And then Warhammer. Should probably just focus down this Crusader. Oh, it's so hard not to just do another Alpha Strike with 3s to hit. But I'll be a good little boy today. And only do that, even though it hurts so badly. So bad. Go ahead and do the medium lasers and SRM2. All right, what do we got? Highlander misses everything. Maxim magically hits the Highlander with an LRM5, doing some damage to the center torso. The Orion smacks the Ossaul with what? How many missiles? 5 missiles, doing some damage to the left leg. Prowler doesn't hit anything. Ostrock also doesn't hit anything. Oh, I really like where this is going. Okay, so Warhammer takes a PPC to the right arm, 0 armor remaining. SRM-6, 3 of the 6 missiles hit. One goes into the right arm, doing some critical damage. Another one goes into the right arm, and then left torso. His LRM-15 is gone. Next up, Crusader smacks my Warhammer with a medium laser and an LRM-15. Hitting the right torso, right leg, and the right arm. The heavy flak turret. Oof, this is going to be less than great. Oh, ow. Alright, so the heavy flak turret gets an AC5 on the stalker, AC2 on the stalker, getting right torso, AC2 to the right leg. How did he hit everything? They rolled greater than 6 on literally everything. LRM-5 takes 3 damage to the head. Takes some more damage to the right arm. Missed an LRM-5 and then takes some more damage to the left leg. Thunderbolt, medium laser, and SRM-2. Everything hits on the Crusader, smacking the right torso, left torso, and left leg. But unfortunately, the Crusader remains standing. All right, well, that was not ideal. I need Mr. Qatar to get out of the way. And, okay, looks like we won initiative. I just need the stalker to get out of the way. Okay. All right, so they pretty much just put their Ostrak out of the fight, which is great. The Warhammer, honestly, just hang out, man. Ah, that's less than ideal. I think... Can I do this? That's not going to work. Okay. That will work. All right, so heavy hover APC just left the field of battle. That's totally fine. Then I don't see any reason not to just smack you in the face with a lot. Gauss rifle, no LRM. That doesn't make sense. Medium laser. Nothing could possibly go wrong. All right, so the stalker can finally get into the fight, which is neat. Let's do a couple of LRMs. Let's do a large laser. And I think we'll stop there while we're ahead. You know, we can get warm again. That'll be fine. That's fine. Everything is fine there. Nothing could possibly be not fine. Yeah, we'll do that. And for this guy, he just needs to go away. Now, the important thing is I need to make sure that I don't have anything in the legs because I want to kick this dude. All right, cool. I don't want to get that hot. 7 over would be unfortunate right now. How How did you just get knocked prone? That doesn't make sense. All right. So Ossaul, large laser into the right torso for the Highlander, large laser into the center torso for the Highlander. Okay, I see where this is going. Medium laser into the right torso, medium laser into the center torso. Crusader takes 8 damage into the head. Got 1 armor left. Also takes 8 damage into the left arm. Takes 5 damage into the right arm. His right arm is almost gone. And then now you get to hear my cat screaming at me. Another 5 damage into the right leg. His right arm is destroyed after getting smacked by a medium laser. The other 4 goes into the right torso. Medium flak turret is just destroying my stalker. AC2 into the left torso and crits my SRM6. Isn't that nice? That's just annoying. Highlander fires, SRM6 hits, 4 missiles hit, left torso, left arm, center torso, critical hit on an engine. All right. Let's cook him. And then critical hit on a foot, critical hit on SRM6, left leg, right arm, right torso, right torso. The Maxim is still hanging out and also magically hits the Highlander. So he takes more damage to his center torso. And then my Stalker misses on everything. Ostrak misses on everything. Orion misses everything. Crusader hits... Oh, no. This is not ideal. This is really much not ideal. So Highlander is now going to cook. Now he's got a critical on his engine. Okay. Just not great. Warhammer into the Crusader. Destroys the left arm with the PPC. Transfers into the left torso. Smacks the left torso. All the armor is gone. Just left with internal structure. And then Orion takes some hits from a flak cannon. Thunderbolt unloads on that Ossaul. Misses with the machine gun. Hits with the other one. Gets 1, 2 of the medium laser hits into the center torso, then the left torso. SRM2. That's annoying. Gets into the left torso. So the Highlander fell because he couldn't roll a 5. That's annoying. So now he's lying on his back, and fortunately, my pilot doesn't take any damage. The Crusader also falls, and he takes more damage to the right torso and some damage to the left leg. And he also takes no damage. All right. We're just going to kick you. Yes. Great. So Ossaul kicked the Warhammer. Critical hit on the right leg, but no real effect. But we're out of armor. The Thunderbolt kicks the Ossaul. Hits the right leg. Got a little bit of armor left, but the Ossaul falls, taking some damage to the left leg and the right leg, but he avoids damage. All right, so the Highlander is going to be getting hot. That engine damage is not a friend of ours. And then the Warhammer is also going to be a little toasty for a while. And then we lost initiative on top of everything else. Okay. I mean, we just need to get the Stalker into the fight and into some cover if we can from all of the turrets. Okay, that was the Maxim fleeing. So he can stop finally torturing us from afar. And then if we get up, that's going to be all that we do. Are you serious? He needed a 4. He needed a 4. He rolled a 3. So now we fall. We take some more damage to the left arm. We take some damage to the left torso, but at least we still don't take any more damage, which is neat. It's neat. That's very, very annoying. But we can kind of turn, so maybe we can do something. Prop up on one arm and then shoot at something. Okay, so my Warhammer. Why don't we just back up? Let's back the truck up. Let's see if we can't just make space. Fortunately, the Crusader couldn't get up. I mean, with his foot actuator being down, it's going to be tough for him to get up. The big thing is probably going to be if we can just kick this Ossol again, that's going to be great. But I'm worried that he's going to be kicking our Highlander. All right, Maxim left. My Highlander is not doing well. Ossol stayed. Oh, it fell. Neat. And then it ended up getting up eventually, but not before taking some more damage to the left arm, the left torso. Okay, so what all do we have in what arm? So I've got an SRM6 in the left arm, Gauss rifle in the right arm. You know, even though we're at minimum range, what is the hit? 9. Hit would be 7. I think risk versus reward here, right? I think risk versus reward, the Gauss rifle, I'm going to go for that one. And also it doesn't generate as much heat, which is a bonus. Also, hopefully I can maybe torch him a little with a couple of medium lasers while I'm propped up on that left arm. So fortunately, this Ostrak came up to say hello to my Stalker. I am okay with this. I am really sad that one of my SRM6s is gone, but it's fine. I'll get over it somehow. We'll just unload with all of the things and then let him know how we feel about the situation. I think that we do need to get rid of the Ossol first right now. The Crusader is not going anywhere. So we can do 1 PPC and a medium laser. That way we can also try to cool down just a little bit. Do I want to do that? We'll also do an SRM6 just for funsies. It'll keep us warm, but it'll be fine. And then for the Thunderbolt, go ahead and do most of the things again. And let's see what happens. Oh, good. The Ossol got dropped because the Gauss rifle hit. Okay, I'm fine with that. So he takes half the damage from the Gauss rifle into the center torso. Medium laser miss. Medium laser hit on the left arm. Not a whole lot happened with that. Stalker. Why you do this? Okay. Stalker, medium laser into the left arm. Missed with another medium laser. Medium laser into the center torso. Medium laser into the left torso. SRM6 hits with 4 missiles, doing 2 damage to the right arm. Right torso, and center torso. And that's about it for that. The Ossol hits the Highlander with a large laser into the right arm. Medium laser into the left arm. And that's it. The Flashman puts a large laser into the left arm, destroying the left arm. I'm not worried about a shoulder if you don't have an arm. Also hits the right torso with a medium laser, left torso with a medium laser into the center torso, critting on the center torso with no effect, and then another medium laser into the right torso, critting with no effect. The Ostrak attempts to shoot the Stalker at point blank range and fails miserably. Warhammer PPC misses on a 6. No. Medium laser does hit the center torso, though. Center torso no longer has armor, is down to 13 internal structure. SRM6 into the Ossol hits with how many missiles hitting? At least, I think 4. 4? Something. Where does it tell me how many missiles hit? Oh. Okay. 2 damage into the head, doing some damage to the pilot. 2 damage to the left arm, left torso. Well, it transfers to the left torso because there is no left arm. Again, transfer to the left torso and then into the left leg. And then finally, a Thunderbolt puts a machine gun into the left torso. Oh, that's so unfortunate for him. Machine gun into the center torso, critting on the gyro. Medium laser into the left arm, transferring to the left torso. Medium laser into the left leg, critting on the upper leg and a heat sink. Now I understand why he fell. There's nothing holding him up. Left leg also down to 7 internal structure. Another SRM2 into the left leg and the right torso. And then the Orion misses the Ostrak. Heavy flak turret messes up the Orion a little bit. And then naturally the Ossol falls because it doesn't have a gyro and its hip is gone. And fortunately, that pilot also takes some damage. He's up to 2 hits. You know, they always say never kick a guy while he's down. I gotta tell you, not a believer right now. So, Thunderbolt. Oh, you know what? I messed up. I think I shot with something in the legs with my stalker. That's unfortunate. Assault takes a smack to the left arm, which transfers to the left torso. Down to 4 internal structure. The Orion kicks the Prowler multi-terrain vehicle and just demolishing its front. And then the Stalker takes 12 damage. The Stalker stays standing. Okay, so the Highlander is warm but cooling down. The Stalker is also a little warm. Warhammer is slowly cooling down. And then all of their mechs are getting awful toasty. And we won initiative. That's neat. Interesting. Their Crusader was able to stand up. Isn't that nice? All right, can I stand up? Ah, I stood up. Neat. If you're asking if I'm chasing the Ostrak, the answer is yes. Yes, I am chasing the Ostrak. What to do? You know, I think we should go. What do we have still that works? Oh, that poor little Crusader. All he has is an SRM6. That's all he has. One sad little SRM6. Everything else is gone. Oh, that's adorable. And then he is down to being a 2-3. So overall, yeah, he can still do a little damage to us, but it's fairly well mitigated. However, this Ossol can do quite a bit of harm to us. So I think that we just need to close the distance. We need to kick him to death, and then it'll be fine. It's going to be fine. Okay. That's all great. So my Highlander. I think probably just an SRM6 and a Gauss rifle, and that'll be fine. No, I should probably just do the Gauss rifle. We'll just do the Gauss rifle and hope for the best. Okay, now remember, friends, do not fire with anything in the leg, which I don't think I did. So why didn't it let me kick? Interesting. Well, fire, 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 fire. We'll just see the SRMs. Wouldn't it be great if we just had one more medium laser? That would be great. But no. Or, maybe one more SRM6, like the one that's missing. That would be cool too. Okay. Don't shoot with the PPC. That would be a bad move. But we can fire with just about everything else. And for once, the Warhammer will not be overheating at the end of the turn. Isn't that neat? Maybe I should have fired with the PPC just so he overheated. Just for fun. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay. The Ostrak had a bad day. I don't know what happened, but he had a bad day. Medium laser, sorry, not the Ostrak, the Ossaul. The Ostrak does hit the Stalker with one medium laser, doing some damage to the left leg. Highlander misses with the Gauss rifle. Stalker hits with a bunch of stuff. So medium laser into the center torso on the Ostrak, medium laser into the right arm, medium laser into the right torso, medium laser into the left leg, and also gets a couple of missiles with the SRM6, dealing damage to the left leg twice. The Orion smacks the Prowler with an AC-10, immobilizing it. It's just, that Prowler is not much longer for this world. It's just going to get squished if it doesn't just blow up. Heavy flak turret does more damage to that poor little Orion. I'm happy it's them and not me. The Prowler is fighting back with medium laser, and SRM2. LRM-15 does miss, though. Warhammer against the Ossaul. Medium laser against the right torso hits. Small laser hits right torso with a critical on the large laser. The machine gun smacks the head, dealing 1 damage, doing another point of damage to the pilot for a total of 3 hits. SRM6 misses. The medium laser hits the left leg, destroying the left leg. None of the crits matter because it doesn't exist anymore. Left torso has 3 internal structure remaining. We get a small laser on the center torso with 2 criticals on the engine, and then also hit a right arm just for fun. And then also against the Ossaul from the Thunderbolt, machine gun against the right torso with 9 internal structure remaining. Critical hit on medium laser. Machine gun on the left leg, which doesn't exist, so it goes to the left torso. 1 internal structure remaining. Medium laser goes bye-bye. Large laser against the right leg, which is now down to 12 internal structure. No effect for that critical. Medium laser against the left arm that transferred to the left torso. Left torso is gone, so no more large lasers. And now the center torso has 4 internal structure remaining, and the center torso just went away, which means the mech is no longer. Goodbye, Mr. Ossaul. I really don't mind that we have exchange salvage when stuff like this happens, because this is useless to salvage at the end of the day. The Orion stays standing. The Ostrak also stays standing. Stalker, kick him. Ah! Ostrak misses the Stalker, and to add insult to injury, we kick his left leg. Now has 8 internal structure remaining. He falls down, smacking his right arm and his center torso, but no damage to the pilot. Okay, so my Highlander is down to 4 heat, which is really neat. Stalker, Warhammer, 0 heat, Thunderbolt's up to 2, and all of the enemies are still warm. I don't think that Crusader is going anywhere very fast, though. So, with all that being said and done, Mr. Highlander, just turn. That's all you got to do. You just got to turn. Stalker, we're going to wait on you. Warhammer can just kind of walk forward. Oh, that was a bad move on that Crusader's part, but that's okay. That's fine. Yeah. What do you think? Is the Ostrak actually going to stand? Is he actually going to stand? I don't know. We're going to find out. Oh, and he did, which means the Stalker has no shot. Oh, I should have come forward and turned. That's what I should have done. But then he would have stood up and come around behind the Stalker, and it would have been a bad day. But the really funny thing is that the Thunderbolt can actually still get shots on the Ostrak if I want it to, and it'll still be able to kick the Crusader, which I might actually do. I might. I wish the Highlander could actually hit the Crusader, but he can't. And the Stalker can shoot the Crusader. Isn't that great? So let's pop a couple of LRMs at him. And then maybe a large laser. Maybe 2. And I think that's going to be a good place to be. Yeah, should be fine. Should be just fine. So for this, who doesn't love a PPC to the back? Just kick a guy while he's down, I guess. No, don't do that. No. But SRMs are fine. And let's do that. Don't want to get too hot. So then from there... Oh, hold on, wait, you can't see him? Are you sure? Are you sure? You can't see him. Very good. This is good. So if I do a large laser and an LRM, it'll still be toasty, but not terrible. Really, who cares, though? As long as you don't shut down, you're fine. You're fine. Yes. Well, I guess I won't be kicking the Crusader because the Crusader lost his head. That poor pilot. He is gone now. That Carlton Bergstrom, you will probably not be remembered, but that's okay. I don't really care about all that stuff against the Crusader because he just doesn't... Well, I mean, he also lost his center torso because... What exploded? Oh, his LRM-15 ammo, which just destroyed absolutely everything. That would have been a very pretty explosion. And then the Orion hits against the Ostrak. We get a total of 9 missiles hitting, 5 damage to the right arm, 1 internal structure remaining. Left arm is down to 2 armor. Heavy flak turret is still just messing up that Orion. But it's standing tall. It's doing its thing. I'm just happy they're shooting at him and not me. I mean, the Crusader's already gone, but everything hit, and everything is bad for him, not me. Thunderbolt against the Ostrak. Large laser against the right arm. Right arm goes away. The LRM-15 also hits. 9 of the missiles hit, so 5 damage to the right leg, 4 damage to the head, 4 armor remaining on that. Only 1 hit so far against the Ostrak pilot. He stays conscious. Ostrak attempts to shoot at the Thunderbolt and fails terribly. And then because the Ostrak took greater than 20 damage, needs to roll a 7, rolls a 5, he falls down. Takes 5 damage to the right torso, 0 armor remaining. Another damage to the right torso with 13 internal structure remaining. Critical hit with no effect, and the pilot takes no damage. Good for him. I'm proud of him. I love these little effects that you see on the map. The craters, the bits of mech just lying around. When you lose an arm, you see an arm sitting on the hex. It's just so fun. So fun. All right. I forgot that Prowler was still up. That's hilarious. All right, so my Thunderbolt really needs to take a breather and cool down a little bit. The Ostrak is up to 7 heat. And we tied for initiative because everybody decided to roll a 12. Now then, Ostrak does not have jets, so Mr. Highlander, I think you can just go Just take a step. One step. You can do it. Thunderbolt can just very slowly meander. The Warhammer can also kind of slowly meander. And Mr. Stalker needs to kick something. All right. Everybody succeeds with all the things. Okay. Not really a whole lot for you to shoot at because I'm pretty sure you don't have... Yeah, you can't hit anything there. But my Stalker can hit something. What do you know? It's threes. Threes to hit. Yeah, that's fine. We'll just do that. I don't think there's going to be a reason for this guy to get hot to do more damage because I don't think this guy's going to be around. Why waste the ammo when we have energy? And call it good. I think an LRM is a 6 to hit. An SRM is a 7 to hit. We'll do an LRM. We'll waste one volley of LRM 15. Ah, good. This is good. So, Condor AC5 against the Ostrock hits the center torso. Medium laser hits the center torso. Medium laser hits the left torso. Machine gun misses. The Ostrock fires the Stalker. Large laser hits my center torso, down to 26 armor. Excuse me. Medium laser hits the left leg. Medium laser against the left torso. Still have plenty of armor remaining. Prowler, with the help of that flak turret, this Orion is having a bad day against this Prowler. But the medium laser against the left arm takes out his SRM4 and the shoulder. He's down to one internal structure on that left arm. Medium laser hits the right arm. SRM, he gets 2 missiles. One goes to the right torso, one goes to the right leg. The LRM misses, though. Stalker hits with medium laser into the center torso. Critical, no effect. Into the left torso. And then into the right arm. Takes out the large laser and the medium laser. 8 internal structure remaining on that right torso. And then another hit into the right leg. Hit into the left arm. Is down to 4 internal structure. Warhammer hits with the PPC against the Ostrock into the right arm. The right arm doesn't exist, so it transferred the right torso. And then 3 internal structure remaining on the right torso. Misses on the medium laser into the right torso, which destroys the right torso and transfers into the center torso, critting on the center torso down to 15 internal structure. And then the fateful LRM-15 that I almost didn't shoot explodes the LRM-5 ammo, dealing 105 damage. The pilot takes a hit, up to 3 hits now, and magically stays conscious, needs a 7, rolls a 9. The auto eject system was engaged. That poor pilot, he failed his skill check. He needed an 8 to land successfully on the building. Failed. Takes another damage up to 4 hits. Needs a 10 to stay conscious. Rolls an 8. He blacks out. Ostrock was destroyed by ejection as well as not having a center torso anymore. Then flak turret into the Orion just mauls him even more. Critical hit on his AC-10, left arm, all that stuff. I'm going to take a look really quick. So we need to destroy 75% of the Draconis Combine Op4, which was the mechs. All of the mechs that I just destroyed. That was the primary objective. And then 75% of all hostile forces. So we failed on this one. I don't think that'll be too bad for us. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, we're supposed to leave these guys, the turrets, intact if we can. So I think actually destroy, cripple, or force withdrawal 75% of the following to take control of the facility, which we did. So we now control the facility. So we actually have won this scenario, which means we come to here. Okay. Ta-da. And we type the beautiful word /victory. Haha. Done. And I don't think we need to do a whole lot with this guy, so we can skip the attack. Finally, the Prowler was destroyed. It's a nice little conclusion. Heat round. Everybody's finally at 0 heat, and we won. No, I don't need that. So I decided that, well, okay. Hold on 1 second. All right. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start posting the GIFs of all the fights onto like Blue Sky, just for funsies, just to have them there, because why not? So contract 1, B2. No. Done. And so I was the victor. I declare my side controlling the battle. Yes. That poor Highlander. It was so unfortunate. Okay. Next. Stalker took 1 hit for the pilot. Flak turrets. Look, here's something I don't get. How can you say that they escaped if they're immobile? They're not immobile. Or they're not, they didn't escape. They're immobile. They didn't go anywhere. Next. That all looks fine. So, force withdrawal. Yes, did that. Force withdrawal. I kind of disagree with this, but it's fine. I'm not going to worry about it. Prevent 75% from reaching. Hold on. So I didn't actually do this one because these guys did get there. But was that actually an objective? Well, I'll come back and modify this if I need, because it wasn't. This did not say down here. Whatever, I'll just take the hit. It's fine. These were preserved because I didn't destroy them. And then I destroyed all those guys. So really, this was like a net 0. And then, quick question is, so I should get 80% of this value, which will be really nice. That'll be something like 1.2 million C-bills. Oh, they got a purple heart. And everybody got involved in combat. They get an edge. And ta-da! Let's just take a look. Did we actually end up getting... Yeah, so we got... Oh, hey, that wasn't bad for off-the-cuff math. 1.28 million. Okay. Let's see. Yep, already back. So now we give it a little bit of time. Everybody comes back from deployment, and now it's time to repair. This is where things are going to be rough. The Highlander also uses Ferrovirus, which is just harder to repair, and that's going to be annoying. So let's have our Ultra Green dude do some reloading. Is there any more reloading you can do? Have you do some more reloading. And more. All the more. Okay, so the Highlander, the thing that's going to end up taking the longest is probably repairing that engine. So let's see who I've got that can work on that. And does anybody have... Nobody has any extra skills. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. Well, that's actually not bad. We can actually rush this so we have more time to do other stuff and be totally fine. Well, with all that being done, we'll do this and it'll be great. So we'll go ahead and do all of our repairs, get everything ready to go just so that we don't have to worry about it later. Whoops. And we'll let a veteran do this so we don't have to worry about it getting messed up. And same thing with this. But then we can have our green folks just do some armor repairs, because if we lose a little bit of the standard armor, it's not the end of the world. It's going to be fine. How much armor do I have left, though? If we're being honest here. Armor. Standard, 700 points. Honestly, with it taking 1 to 2 weeks for things to arrive, we probably need to order some armor. Not that. Purchase parts. Armor. So if we do 1, this should be per 80. So 50,000 per 80. Like another 320 points should be fine. That should be enough to cover us. I hope. Maybe. We'll see. We'll go ahead and advance the day. Aw, somebody had a birthday. Happy birthday. Then we found parts for a couple of things. They'll be here in 3 weeks. 3 weeks. 3 whole weeks. Maintenance got done on some things, and it got even better. More parts were found, and they'll be here in 21 days as well. And why don't we go ahead and start patrolling again? Just so we can watch out for things. Just keep on advancing little by little. This contract goes through July, so we have plenty of time left on this contract. This poor person, they're just going nuts. Little by little, day by day. Oh dear. Oh dear. Employee turnover check. Nobody wants to leave. Great. Okay. Okay, so I just got word that this is one of our admins talking to us. I just got word that an auction is happening in the next few hours, Captain. Most of the lot is junk. Stripped chassis, damaged gear, nothing worth our time. But there's an armored personnel carrier, wheeled LRM, up for grabs. Might be worth grabbing. Could be a useful addition to our lineup if we can get it at the right price. This auction is not being conducted for money, but for support and resources. We need to be careful, though, as sacrificing too much here may leave us vulnerable in other areas. Let me know how you want to proceed. I have 1 support point. I have the 1 lonely support point that I can even have. But I might as well. I haven't used it. But bad news. Our bid did not make the cut. The armored personnel carrier went for a higher than your limit was authorized. Looks like some deeper pockets were involved, or maybe they were just stingy. We were just stingy. Unfortunate, but it's probably for the best. Pushing higher would have strained our reserves. I'll keep an eye out for other opportunities. So, first of the month, due to low wealth or poor chance, the commander didn't have any spare money to reinvest. 28 personnel gain vocational XP. All of these people. Ooh, nice. A couple of mech warriors seen there. That's great. Unit marker was updated. Let's take a look to see what we have. So we've got a Griffin. We've got a Vulcan. Got a Sentinel. I'm not as familiar with Sentinels. So it's 40-ton mech. It's a 6'9", 10 heat sink, standard gyro, standard cockpit, uses standard armor, 67 internal structure, 96 standard armor. This looks like a stinker because it doesn't do very much well. Because it has an AC5, which is not a very good standoff weapon. It doesn't move fast enough to really get out of the way. Well, actually, no. 6'9" is pretty great. This would do well as a scout. This would do pretty well as a scout. The AC5 is enough to make it almost seem scary to another scout, but not enough. The SRM2 isn't too bad. The small laser is practically useless, in my opinion. But we've got another Warhammer, which we already have 2. We have a Charger. Something else I'm not super familiar with, but they want 7.1 million C-bills, which I barely have. It's an 80-ton mech. PV is 981. It's a scout, so it's a 5'8" with 10 heat sinks. It's got 122 internal structure, 160 standard armor, and it's got a pile of small. What's the purpose of this? What's the point? What is the point of this? I would love to see a review on this and just read it get torn apart. We have a Thunderbolt. This is different from the one we have. Yeah, this has a PPC, SRM6, and a pile of medium lasers with a flamer for funsies. This isn't bad. It's got a bunch of armor. This would not be bad. I wouldn't mind this. We've got a Phoenix Hawk, which I don't mind Phoenix Hawks. Got another Shadow Hawk and a Crab. No. Commando, a couple of Thugs, which are just also kind of hilarious. Another Warhammer and a Locust. So nothing that I'm super excited about buying right now, but we'll keep that in our back pocket. Enemy condition is stalemate on the contract. Both sides are evenly matched. Neither is gaining a clear advantage. Allegedly, skirmishes continue, but outcome remains uncertain. Special event, none. And we got paid 3 million C-bills for the month. Cool. All right, so this is one of those things where if you want to get some extra stuff, you can let them resupply you and give you some stuff, including things that would actually be useful, or you can utilize your own convoys, which is kind of what we bought the last time. And there's risk, but you get more, a lot more, because the difference between us doing our own delivery is 16 tons. We get 1/4 of that if they do delivery. So we will use our convoy. And you can request like certain things. I'm just going to ask for a balance. I don't think we need to do anything else. So your supply request has been processed and the shipment is on its way. Prepare logistics teams for the usual unloading and inventory, but be aware the situation remains uncertain. This resupply will cost 1.3 million C-bills. The value of these supplies is 1.3 million C-bills. So overall, in my experience, this normally ends up being a net positive. You get more than your money's worth. So, yeah, that's fine. Convoy arrived, and we left behind an LRM-20 because reasons. Charlie Lance came home. Everything is getting maintenance done on it. Oh, somebody had a birthday. Happy birthday. Okay. And let's just keep on exploring just a little bit, making sure that we are making our presence known. Oh, Deep Raid, Rut-Row. Oh, hell no. No, no. Dropships are no fun. Oh, and it's a turning point. Fudge nuggets. Okay. We have identified a vulnerable enemy dropship deep behind enemy lines. This is a rare opportunity to eliminate a key enemy asset before it can escape. Your mission is to destroy the dropship before it can lift off. Expect rapid enemy response forces as the enemy scrambles to defend their asset. They will attempt to delay and stall you long enough for the dropship to achieve liftoff. Speed is critical. Push their defenses, disable or destroy the dropship, and exfiltrate before the enemy reinforcements overwhelm your position. This engagement takes place in enemy territory, meaning we will not have control of the field at the end. There will be no opportunity for salvage or recovery, so focus solely on mission success. Strike fast, eliminate the target, and get out before the enemy locks down the area. An enemy crack field artillery unit has been spotted in the area. Beware. That can be no bueno. Your employer is deployed alongside you in integrated force. The tank base is there, and we have to destroy the dropship. Great. Great. What dropship is it? Oh, it's a Union. This sucks. This is no good. I don't want to edit the unit, but I want to look at it. Like, guys. If I go into this fight, I'm just going to die. You know, my only hope is actually to swap out. What can I do? So I could swap out the Thunderbolt with the other Warhammer, and that would at least let me stay out at range and just peck away at the darn thing with PPCs and a Gauss rifle. But I don't love that at all. I could try deploying 2 units and seeing if it lets me do that. Because if I can deploy Baker and Able Lance, then I should have some standoff ability and be able to just demolish one side of the Union. But, guys, I'm scared. This is not ideal. Not ideal at all. What day am I supposed to do this? I'm supposed to do this on the 8th. Okay, well, you know, let's look at that unit marketplace again. Maybe there's something I can do here. No. Not great. I can't afford it. Yeah, nope, there's nothing. Well, hold on. What do we have for vehicles? I don't see... Like, the Rhino would be fine, but I can't hardly afford the darn thing. This is not great. Okay. I don't have a choice. I have to do this fight, whether I want to or not. And my friends are not bringing the best with them. They're bringing a Thunderbolt. On the bright side, the only other thing that the enemy has is a Stalker. So really, it's just a whole bunch of mechs against a Union. But that still sucks. Okay, well, here's to hoping. Here's to hoping. Able. And let's see if I can also deploy Baker. Okay, so essentially, we have to hope that we can reinforce in time. And so this is where those support points come in handy. If it'll let me. Yep. We have one support point that we can utilize. So we can drop our target number by 1. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. Wait, let me look at something here really quick. Yeah, your maneuvers. Okay. All right. Here's to hoping. And I failed. My reinforcements have been delayed. So now instead of arriving on turn, I don't know, round 5, now they're going to arrive on like round 12, which is absolutely useless, but fine. Okay, it's fine. I'm not panicking. You're panicking. Here we go. I don't want to commence the drop, but I will commence the drop. Okay, what turn? Round 15. They are coming in on round 15. They might as well not come at all. What's the point of coming in on round 15? My goodness. Okay. And you know what else I forgot to do? I forgot to swap out. Hold on. Oh, man. I have just messed up a whole bunch, but that's okay. It's fine. Everything's fine. Wait a second. Okay. Great. Great, great, great. I forgot to swap in the other Warhammer and take out the Thunderbolt. I think I pretty much just have to drop all these guys in as close as I can to within range of the Union. That way I can just run up, just alpha strike it over and over and hope for the best. Yep, that's... Here's to hoping. And then I have to make sure I'm constantly moving around. Otherwise, the field artillery is probably going to smack me in the face. I mean, that's the nice thing is that it's a stationary target, which means it's not hard to hit, but still. Can my large lasers? Nope. Well, let's just shoot all the things. And then, so the Highlander hits with the Gauss rifle, 165 armor remaining. Misses with the LRM 20. Stalker hits with an LRM 10, hits the nose and the left side. LRM 10 hits the left side. PPCs both hit the left side. See, this is the problem, right? Even if I'm just unloading these PPCs and I manage to hit the same side every single time, I have to hit 15 more times with a PPC, which is me just cooking for like 8 rounds. LRM 15 hits on the left side down to 145. And now Union shoots PPC, misses. AC5 hits the left torso of the Stalker. AC5 hits the left arm of the Stalker. LRM 20 hits the Highlander and hits the left torso, left leg, right leg. LRM 20 also hits the Highlander, smacking the head, but thank goodness we have edge. And so that got rerolled into the center torso. We take 5 damage to the right torso, 5 damage to the center torso, 1 damage to the left torso. Highlander took over 20 damage, and so he has to roll a piloting skill check, but he succeeds. I really do not have warm fuzzies. So their artillery will be aiming and shooting. I think we have to close the distance a little bit more just so we can get more weapons firing all at once. You know, except from the Warhammer, which is already cooking. Okay, so we take some scatter damage from artillery, taking 5 damage to the right arm. And that's it. Warhammer's the only thing that got smacked. And then all we have to do is shoot them. That's all we have to do. Still forced to hit. That's all we can do from you. Stalker, fire off the LRMs. And then large lasers can hit now. Okay, cool. So fire one of those, and we can get one. Whoops, nope. We can go up to 1 heat, that'll be fine. We'll just keep on. Oh man, I can't do that. I can, but I don't want to. Okay, I'll hold off the next turn. We'll cool down next turn, and then we'll re-engage with both PPCs. And then for you, still out of range of the large laser, but LRM definitely within range. So Highlander hits with his Gauss rifle onto the left side. LRM 20 also hits. 5 damage to the aft, nose, and aft. How you're hitting the opposite side with the LRMs, I have no idea. Stalker LRM hits nose and left side. LRM hits aft and right side. Great. Large laser hits the left side. Large laser hits the left side. We're down to 111 armor, so we're making progress. Now then, PPC is 1 against the nose, 1 against the right side. Somehow, again. LRM 15 hits the left side and the nose. Then, my goodness, PPC hits left torso on the Highlander. Large laser misses. Large laser hits the left leg. Would have been hit in the head, but it takes it to the left leg. We're down to 0 edge on him. AC5 to the right arm. AC5 to the left arm on the Highlander. LRM 20 smacks the Warhammer, taking some damage to the right arm to the left arm. And Warhammer misses on the Warhammer. Highlander takes 20 damage again. I have a feeling that I'm losing one of my mechs this time. And they just fired again. So I'm going to keep closing the distance in hopes that everybody can kind of alpha strike against him, unload everything against this guy. Because we just have to do more damage. We just have to. The Warhammer is only going to be able to fire 1 PPC this round, just so he doesn't get too hot. It would be great if my allied mech would have showed up at some point in time. Fortunately, they completely missed my mechs with that artillery barrage. They're still firing behind the mechs from the looks of it, which is okay with me. At least the Gauss rifle's an auto hit. Same thing with the LRM. So, yep, LRMs are going to be an auto hit. Large laser, not quite an auto hit, but pretty darn close. We'll be 2 over, and that's fine. And nothing else is going to be able to hit. Okay, so next up with PPC, only one of them, but it's going to be an auto hit, which is kind of neat. Next turn, we should be able to engage with some of the other stuff too, if we need to. And then large laser, LRM, and that's everything for him. And my stalker got knocked. Okay. So Highlander smacks with the Gauss rifle, left side is down to 91. LRM hits, we hit the aft, left side, and the left side again. Left side is down to 76. Stalker hits with the LRM using the left side table, so 5 damage to the nose, 1 damage to aft. LRM hits the nose and the left side is down to 71. Then large laser hits the right side somehow. Large laser hits the left side. We're down to 63. PPC hits the aft. Aft is down to 76 armor. So if we can just keep on hitting the aft and the left side, then we'll be okay. Thunderbolt, large laser against the nose, down to 121. LRM 15 lands 5 damage on the left side and 4 damage on the nose. Union, PPC at the Warhammer misses. Large laser hits the left leg of the Stalker. Another large laser against the right leg of the Stalker. AC5 misses against the Warhammer. AC5 hits the left leg of the Warhammer. LRM 20 hits the Stalker, doing damage to the left arm, and right leg. And then another LRM 20 against the Stalker, hitting right torso, left torso, and right torso. So, took over 20 damage. The dude needed to roll a 4, and he rolled a 3. Come on. And, the really big pisser is that the Stalker, if you look at it, it doesn't really have arms, which means it gets a negative or a positive modifier for standing up because it has no arms. But at least my pilot didn't take any damage. That's nice. Okay, so the Stalker is at 2 heat. Everybody else is cool. All right. Well, at least he's hurting. You can see by the... I don't know how well you guys can see it, but you can see by the graphic, there's like scratches and it looks all dented and stuff. He's taking damage. He's hurting. I don't know. I'm really hoping that we get there and that we can do this. All right. Does the Stalker stand? He needs a 5. Look at this. See, +2. No minimal arms. But he did it. He deserves a cookie. Or are you, my Warhammer? Yeah, you're my Warhammer. And he rolled a 5. So he barely made it. Just squeaked right in there. And everything lands. Some of the damage from the last one scattered, smacked the Highlander for 5 damage on the rear center torso. That's okay. So now, Buddy has entered the fight. And this should all still be auto hits. This should be an auto hit, large laser, fire. Do I want to be up to 4 heat? Yes, I absolutely want to be up to 4 heat. Yes. Then let's cook it off with some PPCs. My cat is going insane. Large laser, LRM. That's all we can do for now. Okay, so PPC hits the Stalker of the center torso. Thunderbolt takes the center torso to the left leg. Large laser into the Warhammer into the right leg. AC5 left leg of the Stalker. AC5 into the left arm of the Stalker. AC5 hits Thunderbolt into the right leg. And another one into the right leg of their AC5. LRM 20 smacks the Highlander. He takes damage to the left arm, right torso, left arm, and right torso. Ow. They hit with all 20 missiles. Okay. And then LRM 20 against the Highlander again. He takes 5 damage to the left leg, left arm, and 2 to the right leg. And then the Union missed with everything else. Gauss rifle hits the left side, 43 armor remaining. LRM 20 does 5 damage to the aft, 5 damage to the left side, another 2 damage to the left side. We're down to 36 armor. LRM 10 smacks with 6 missiles, left side down to 31, aft down to 70. More LRMs hit with 3 missiles. Aft is down to 67. Large laser hits the left side down to 23. Large laser hits the right side down to 153. Oh, hey, thanks for the follow, Poke Noodle. Warhammer hits with both the PPCs. 10 damage to the aft, 10 damage to the left side. Aft, we're getting close to 57. Left side, we're still close at 13. Thunderbolt hits the large laser, smacking the aft. LRM 15 hits 5 damage to the left side, 5 damage to the aft, 2 damage to the left side. Left side is down to 6. And then Thunderbolt fires PPC hitting the aft. Aft is down to 34. Everybody stays standing. And so Stalker is warm at 4. Warhammer is a little warm at 3, but nothing too crazy. And then they are still aiming and shooting. Okay, hopefully. Hey, thanks for joining, Poke Noodle. How are you doing today? Hopefully, we can just take care of everything this round, and it'll be fine, as long as we don't lose any of the mechs. We'll just close the distance a little. Fortunately, all of the artillery shots missed everything. All right, moment of truth. And if you're wondering why I didn't close the distance a little bit more, I'm trying to stay out of the range of some of the other weapons for this guy. You know, he's got a shit ton of medium lasers. I don't want him engaging with those in addition to his LRMs and his PPCs and everything else. Oh, yeah, a lot. When's the last time you played anything in BattleTech? And then this friend can just unload with his PPCs. I'm not going to do anything with the medium lasers because he's so hot already. But large laser, LRM, and we are in range for an SRM, and we can go ahead and get a little toasty. Okay, so PPC hits the Highlander on the left leg. PPC missed Thunderbolt, large laser against the Stalker against the left arm, critical hit on the LRM 10, and there's no armor left. Thunderbolt, ally Thunderbolt takes a hit on the right leg. AC5 against the Highlander on the center torso. AC5 against the right arm on the Highlander. He's still doing good there. Misses with medium lasers on the Warhammer. Got a little too close. AC5 misses once, but another one hits the ally Thunderbolt on the right arm. LRM 20 against the Highlander. 5 damage against the left arm. 5 damage against the right torso, and 2 damage to the right torso. LRM 20, all 12 missiles hit. 5 to the center torso. 5 to the right leg, 2 to the right leg. Fortunately, we have the armor to take it. Then another LRM 20 against the ally Thunderbolt. Doing some damage, but he's doing fine. And then the other LRM 20 against him, he's doing fine. Okay, so our friend fires PPC and hits against the right side. 143 armor remaining. That's unfortunate. Gauss rifle hits the nose. 102 armor remaining. LRM 20 against the hits, 5 damage to the left side, all the armor remaining. He has 9 structural integrity remaining. So we need to do 9 more damage to that left side, and then he's destroyed. Stalker, LRM 10 hits, 5 to the right side, 1 to the left side. He's down to 8 structural integrity, then hit again. Somehow we're missing the left side. We're getting very unlucky. Large laser hits on the nose. Large laser hits, takes 8 damage to the left side. 4 damage goes to structural integrity. He's down to 4. PPC hits on the nose. PPC hits on the nose. What is happening? Why is this happening? Thunderbolt, large laser, destroys the Union. We took out his structural integrity. He's down. He's gone. So this is all great. We have now accomplished our objective, and as a bonus, our Highlander stays standing. Our friend falls, takes a whole bunch of damage. That's okay. He's not my problem. He's somebody else's problem. So we're going to come down here. We're going to type that beautiful, beautiful phrase, /victory. Because our only objective, right here, destroy or cripple Draconis Combine dropship in 12 turns. We did it in 5. Done. Heat phase. Didn't it say victory? No, I forgot to finish it. Okay, there we go. Cool. Yes, of course, I want to save a GIF. So, contract 1, B3. Cool. Well, hey, welcome to BattleTech. I've been playing BattleTech for, I think my first experience was about 20 years ago. My brother introduced me to it, and we would play on the tabletop, and I just remember everything. It took forever, but I loved it. It was an absolute blast. And we didn't know about MegaMek at that point in time. We only discovered MegaMek and MekHQ and everything like that. No, I did not control the field of battle. Maybe, I don't know, 5 years ago? And it was a total game changer. My brother and I, we lived in different time zones, and we still wanted to play BattleTech. And so we would go on to Roll20, and we would put the maps onto Roll20, and we would just use like little squares with identifiers on them as our mechs. And it was really funny. We actually had a separate page because we always could never figure out if we had line of sight on mechs. And so we made it so you could look at the elevation of a mech, and if you actually had line of sight based on grid distance. And we thought we were really cool for doing that. It turns out that MegaMek existed the whole time, and that would have been way cooler, but we didn't know at the time. A plus for effort, C minus for execution. And then we discovered MegaMek, and life was so much better. So much better. It just does all the work for you, and it's great. And then it also does all the roleplay stuff for the most part if you want to do that. Okay, so nobody got hurt. We don't have to send anybody over to the doctor's office. Now we just have to wait for our friends to come home, which should be now. Baker Lance never made it to the party. Abel Lance did all the hard work. Let's go ahead and repair everything. Oh, that poor Highlander. See, this is a problem. I don't know if I have enough armor to repair everything. In fact, I don't have enough armor to repair everything. I think the smart move is going to be... Actually, I think I have to take the Highlander out of rotation and replace it with another Warhammer. So why don't we go ahead and do that? Highlander... Where is the captain? There he is. All right, assign, pilot, mech, heavy, Warhammer. And then from there, Tioni, Abel Lance, add unit, mech, heavy, Warhammer. Oh yeah, so MegaMek itself. So what we're looking at right now is MekHQ. This is more of kind of the management portion. What we just got out of, where we were actually doing the fight and moving around and all that stuff, that's MegaMek. So MegaMek by itself is just BattleTech. That's all it is. It's BattleTech, and it's a way to do BattleTech on the computer against either an AI or against somebody else. MekHQ is based on the campaign ops and the strat ops campaign books or source books to create more of a campaign that you can fight in instead of just like one-off battles that you're rolling with. Which, some people, when they play BattleTech, you go to some game stores or wherever else where they might have a lot of BattleTech events. You're going to be doing competitions based on what era it is and bringing certain mechs and all that fun stuff, which some people really enjoy that. I'm not a huge fan of it personally. I don't get enjoyment out of that. I like playing games with people, but I also really love like this component of it right here. The management, the trying to figure out how you're dealing with problems with a finite amount of resources. And then how do you resupply? How do you deal with all those problems? While also having the more tactical portion in MegaMek. I like it all. It's all fun to me. Whoops, shouldn't have done that. So we'll get everybody all repaired, except for the Highlander, who's just going to be sad for a while. And then that's it. Let's move forward today. And I don't think I'll be able to procure any ferrofibrous at all. Armor, ferrofibrous. What happens? I can't even get ferrofibrous at all. Which is unfortunate. Honestly, I should probably just sell that Highlander when we get down here. All right, let's move forward. Aw, it's a birthday. Let's go ahead and keep wandering around. We're up to 2 victory points, so we're in a good spot. We just need to keep what we have and potentially keep accumulating things. Whoops, wrong button. Advance. Let's give it a couple of days. Okay, good. A bunch of armor has arrived. So we're not in danger of running out of that anytime soon, I hope. Everything is remaining in good condition. We're back up to 1 support point, which is great. Now, why don't we take a minute? Let's look at our support personnel and see if anybody... Nope. Nobody has enough XP to do anything. Because to go up 1 rank... current skills... You can go up in negotiation, I guess, but... I think I'd rather them go up in admin. Is anybody in... my techs? Nope, nobody's anywhere close. So, it's fine. Let's go ahead and make sure we're still patrolling. Doing more maintenance. Charlie Lance returns. More maintenance. Things are going well. Somebody has gotten pregnant. Are you... You're just a follower. Okay, great. This is fine. And employee turnover check. Nobody wants to go. This is good. What do we have this time? So there's an LRM carrier up for grabs. I always love an LRM carrier. Oh, good. We got an LRM carrier, and the chassis is in better shape than anticipated. A few systems will need tuning, and parts of the frame look as though they've seen some wear, but nothing the techs can't handle. I'll arrange some transport immediately. We should have it in the hangar within the next 4 days. Let me know if you want to assign a specific pilot or keep it in reserve for now. Understood. Right, so still can't put things into the unit coffers. We got paid, so we're up to 14 million C-Bucks. Current enemy condition is weakened, so we've smacked them around a little bit, and they're not liking it. Enemy is losing ground, sustaining significant casualties, and is disorganized. However, they can still put up resistance in isolated areas. There is no special event, and we're doing good. Let's take a look and see if there are any new things that we want from the market. So, there's a Battlemaster. So, Battlemaster 85-ton tech, or 85-ton mech. It's a Brawler 4.6 with 18 heat sinks. It's got 232 armor with 130 internal structure. It's got a couple of machine guns, a PPC, an SRM-6, and a pile of medium lasers, 2 of them unfortunately firing to the rear. So, not a bad one to just stand there and soak up some damage. And it's fast enough that it can do a little bit. You know, it's nice in those 3.5 mechs that just kind of get lost or get left behind. The Centurion, again, this is one of those ones that I don't mind. It's a medium 50-ton 4.6 with 169 armor. It carries a large laser, small laser, LRM-10, a medium laser, and unfortunately a medium laser to the rear, but it's not bad. Whitworth, that'll be fine, but not the best. Gladiator, this one, I would be tempted by this one because it's pretty versatile and it can do a lot of things decently well. The only thing I don't like about it is the price tag. It's 5.5 million. It's 110% of essentially list, which is not great. But at the same time, we'll see how we're doing at the end of the month. We've got an Awesome, which are always hilarious and just kind of funny. They do a great job from a distance, and that would have been awesome to have, you know, against a dropship, but what do I know? The Stinger would be probably a good one. I think I'm still short 1 light. Yeah, because I lost my Locust. I should probably bring that back up to strength at some point. But I'm not putting the Urban Mech in. No. Not worth it. So that might not be a bad one to bring in. It's a 696. It just gets up there. It does the job. It runs away. And if you sneeze, it dies. Like most lights. There's another Whitworth for even cheaper. There's a Cyclops, which I mean, who doesn't love an AC-20? The only challenge with it is that it doesn't carry a lot of armor. So it's a 4.6 with 160 armor. You compare that to, like, what, the Centurion? The Centurion has more armor than the Cyclops. And the Cyclops is supposed to get up in your face and punch you, essentially, or smack you with an AC-20. But then it just dies. Sure, it has a bunch of center torso armor, but it doesn't have the armor on the legs to really stand up to anything. Again, in my opinion. We've got another Stinger for a little bit more. We've got a Phoenix Hawk, a Clint, a Locust, and Wolverine, which Wolverines hold a special place to me, but, you know. And then an Assassin. But both of these are black market, and like we talked about last time, you can read down here, potentially brand new units, which come with the risk of being swindled, which is always fun when you drop 5 million credits and then it just goes away. No more 5 million credits for you. I am tempted, sorely tempted, to do a Gladiator and a Stinger, just to make sure that I've got those backups if I need them. And as we go through, it would also be great to make sure to try to get another heavy to kind of get that backup now that I'm not going to be using the Highlander. So I think we'll sit on it for a minute. Or do we? Yeah, we'll sit on it for a minute. We'll think about it. And then we'll go from there. Let's go ahead and just advance a few days and see if anything happens. Ah, good. We have a delivery. We'll use our convoy, do a balanced 350,000 C-bills for some stuff. And anything that's italicized like this is just, it's for the role plays, nothing else. The only thing that really matters are the things that are not italicized. Nice thing is we're getting a little bit of standard armor. I would love to have gotten some ferrofibers, but it's not happening. It's not happening anytime soon. So we'll advance a day or 2 or 5. The nice thing is we're already 2 months into our 4-month contract. Let's go ahead and go on a patrol, just make sure we're not missing anything, which we're not. We're doing some more maintenance. Some more maintenance. Ah, base defense, which is a turning point. Oh no. All right, so what do we got? Your orders are clear. Defend the base against the incoming enemy assault. At least 25% of the base infrastructure must remain intact by the end of the engagement. At the same time, this is not just about survival. You are to destroy at least 50% of the enemy forces before the battle concludes. The victor will control the field when this is over. Ensure that it is us. Your employer has deployed alongside with an integrated force. We have the tank base, which will support us. Unidentified aerospace units have been detected approaching our area. That is potentially very bad. Preserve 25% of the designated turrets. Destroy or rout 50% of the attacking forces, +1 victory point if we do that, and -1 if we fail. And then preserve 25% of the falling forces, our base defenses. Preserve 25% of the base defenses. So here's to hoping. So we will have, that is not good. They will have 3 aerospace units on the map. We will have a single Phoenix Hawk helping us. They will have a medium, or we will also have a medium siege turret and a medium missile turret helping us out. Hopefully that can deal with some of the air defense for us, but we'll see what happens. And then they'll also be bringing along a Wolverine and a Stinger. So what are we to do? How much AC-20 ammo do we carry? That is the question. I have to remember. because if it carries like 3 AC 20 rounds, then that's totally useless to me. But this would be one case where we could actually use an urban mech. Potentially. Maybe. Possibly. Kind of. Let's just look. Okay. That actually doesn't help me. I can't remember how to look. I'm just going to look into here. Let's pull this up. So, armor tonnage, blah, 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 structure, equipment, AC-20 ammo. It has 1 ton of AC-20 ammo, which ends up being, hold on. Seven. We get 7 shots of AC-20. That's not ideal. Okay. We're not going to do that. So I think we're going to have to put Able Lance back into it again. Because they're the ones, well, no. So we need to do Able Lance, but I'm probably going to take the Thunderbolt out and put the Archer in instead, just for the missile capacity. Otherwise, we'll be in a bad spot. I think that's going to be the right move. So no, I think we'll just risk it. We'll keep the Thunderbolt where it is, and we'll hope for the best. So we'll go forward a day or two, and then it's time to deploy. And then we just got to commit and hope for the best. We'll do this one, and then afterwards I'll probably go for about another 30 or 45 minutes tonight, and then we'll probably call it good. Okay. I am not super confident about this one either, but it's fine. So this is just reiterating what we already talked about. Commence drop. Okay, here we go. We'll load in all of our units. Everybody's all loaded in, and here we go. Gerber, gerber, gerber. All right, so we mostly won initiative, which is great. Okay. So the aerospace units will come in here in a couple of rounds. The allies are going to pop in around round 8 if this is still going on by then. And we'll go from there. So what do I want to do? Where are they coming in from? They're coming in from below. And let's just take a look. I can't remember. So the flyers will come in from any edge. The enemies are going to start from any edge, so they can come in from anywhere. But the Stinger is right there, and that shouldn't be too hard to handle. why don't we throw like one Warhammer in this region? Turn. Let's see where else they end up deploying. Who knows? We can go ahead and put our Thunderbolt here maybe. Turn kind of like that. Ah, yes, and you put your Wolverine right there, naturally. Throw a Warhammer here-ish. And we'll make right side strong side. Turn. Do something like that. Well, why don't we go ahead and take that South Warhammer and we will just go ahead and bring it on down. We'll bring it on down like that. CF91 with a height of 3, not something you want to hop up on right now. But yeah, we could totally do that. What's the... Yes, I think I can roll a 1. Something tells me we'll be fine. And if you fail a 3, I'll be sad. I feel like this Wolverine might be sad soon. So let's twist. And we can fire. Fire. Skip was what? Down. Great. Fire, 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 and fire. I think that should be fine. That should be fine. 4 medium lasers and a couple SRM6s should pretty well tide us over. Can't do a whole lot with this Warhammer, so we'll let him chill. The Thunderbolt, we also can't do a lot, so we'll let him chill. And then for this little guy, I don't think, probably don't need the twist, but we'll twist anyways. So skip, skip. Medium laser, small laser, machine gun, SRM, medium laser, small laser, machine gun. Looks good to me. Let's see what happens. Okay, so Wolverine fires a large laser, misses. Fires a medium laser, misses. Misses with another medium laser. Hits with a small laser. That's adorable. And then the SRM6 does hit with 4 of his missiles. So Warhammer takes 2 damage to the right arm, 2 damage to the left torso, 2 damage to the right leg, and 2 damage to the left leg. At least they spread it out. Medium missile turret launches some stuff at the Stinger, hits with an LRM-5, doing 3 damage to the center torso. Also hits 3 damage to the left arm with another 3 damage to the right torso, and then 1 happy little damage to the left arm, leaving it with 0 armor. These things were just adorable, but just so breakable, for lack of a better word. Stalker unloads on the Wolverine, hits the left torso, taking 5 damage there. Also misses with 1 of its medium lasers, but hits the center torso with another one. Misses with another medium laser, so 50% on the medium lasers. SRM6 does hit, 5 of the missiles hit, so some damage to the right leg, left torso, left arm, right leg again, and right arm. Other SRM6 also hits with 3 of the missiles, taking some more damage to the center torso, left arm, and left leg. Warhammer fires a whole bunch, misses with medium laser and small laser. Machine gun does hit on the right arm. SRM6 hits with 4 of the missiles, doing damage to the right torso, left leg, right arm, and the center torso. Misses with a medium laser. Small laser hits on the left torso. That's adorable. And the machine gun misses. So dude took more than 20 damage, but he stays standing, which is good for him. And now comes the physical. So since I didn't do anything with any of the legs, I should be able to kick with everybody. Just kick it. Don't do anything with you. Don't do anything with you. And then the other Warhammer, just, do I want to kick or punch? We'll kick. We'll risk it. So Stalker hits against the Wolverine. He takes 17 damage to the right leg. Wolverine hits the Stalker. He takes 11 damage to the right leg, and my Warhammer misses. So Stalker has to make a skill check. He needs a 2, rolls a 4. Warhammer missed, so he needs a 4, rolls a 6. The Wolverine needs a 7, rolls an 8. Everybody stays standing. Everybody is nice and cool, except for the Wolverine, who is nice and toasty at 7 heat. Now we're on to round 2. The Flyers have entered the field. And we sort of lost initiative. The Stinger decided to take a flight. Isn't that nice? Thunderbolt should be able to turn the corner and get the Stinger, though. Yeah, I think you can roll a 4. This Warhammer, we'll have to see what ends up happening with these guys. I always mess up a lot when it comes to the aerospace stuff, and I'm still trying to figure it out, but we're getting there. We are getting there. So let's back this truck up. I think that's going to be the right move. Wolverine just turned to look at us, so the Warhammer can do one of these little dealios. Stalker, as long as it does some movement, I'm kind of okay with it. I'd like you to not run if I can help it, though. Boop. But yeah, that's what I was worried about. Okay, so they're going to probably end up dumping on that Warhammer right there. I'm hoping they don't drop bombs. Otherwise, this might hurt a little bit. It'll probably hurt the Wolverine if they do that as well, but it'll definitely hurt me. All right, so Thunderbolt. We'll twist to make sure we can actually hit him with everything. But then fire, fire. Yeah, large laser, medium laser. Medium laser, medium laser. That'll be fine. And it'll be okay. You'll cool down eventually. From there, this Warhammer. Kind of hate this sometimes. Let's see here. You. There we go. Yeah, I think 7s are about as good as I'm going to deal on that. Yeah, I'll see that. Anything else on the left? No, nothing else. Hopefully I can hit that guy. I'm really hoping. So we'll see if I can hit one of the Flyers, and if I can't, then it will maybe be okay. I'm trying to decide if the right move is to shoot for the Flyers and just kick the Wolverine. Okay, let's look at this first. So that's 8s for you. Whoops. And 8s for you. 7s for you, though. So why don't we have this guy try to smack one of the flyers, and then the stalker can unload on the Wolverine and hopefully just get the Wolverine out of the fight. So we'll dump the medium lasers, dump the SRM-6. We'll hold off on having the stalker go hot this time, just because I want to be able to move around and be able to hopefully deal with some of those flyers. So a couple of flyers lose some altitude. Wolverine, medium laser, the Warhammer hits the left leg. Medium laser hits the left leg again. We're running out of armor. I don't like it. Small laser, left torso, and SRM-6 hits the right arm, and left torso on the Warhammer. That might be enough. 6, 7. Nope, not enough. That we have to make a check. And then Thunderbolt against the Stinger. Machine gun hits on the right leg, 3 armor left. Misses with the machine gun. Wow. Misses with all the things until we get to the medium laser hitting against the left leg. He's down to 0 armor there. That is a very lucky Stinger. The Warhammer needs a 7, rolls a 4 against the Revere. The Warhammer does hit with one of the PPCs against the Sparrowhawk. Hits the sensors. I would have loved to send him out of control, but we'll see what happens. AC-20. Golly, AC-20 misses. Thank goodness. See, this is why these guys are dangerous, because they do things like carrying wild AC-20s in the world and being able to just drop in on top of you and demolish you. But it works both ways. So SRM-6 does hit, takes some damage against the left torso and the right arm. SRM-6 hits the right arm twice, and then also takes some damage against the right leg and the left leg. Misses on the SRM-6. LRM-10 does hit against the right arm twice. That right arm is looking less than happy. And then the Stinger fires a bunch and misses everything. Stalker hits with the medium laser on the right arm, medium laser on the right torso, medium laser on the left torso, and then medium laser on the right torso. SRM-6 also hits with 5 of its 6 missiles, sending damage to the left torso, head, right leg, left arm, right torso. Why did I fire an LRM-10? Weird. I didn't think I did that, but oops. Okay. And then the Phoenix Hawk also has joined the fight, firing a large missile or a large laser, hitting the center torso, medium laser on the right torso, medium laser on the center torso, machine gun misses, and machine gun also hits on the left arm. Siege turret, thank goodness. Gets a PPC on the Revere F100 with a possible crit. We're going to see if he is able to keep control here in a little bit. Also has another PPC against him. It'd be great if he lost control. LRM-5 hits, LRM-5 hits, LRM-5 misses, and LRM-5 hits. He just took a pile of damage. Sparrowhawk does do some things against the Warhammer. Really just a couple of small lasers, but the left leg is down to 0 armor. So all of my pilots pass through pilot skill checks. The Wolverine fails, falls, takes some more damage to the left arm, and then the pilot takes some damage, now up to 2 hits, which is unfortunate for him because all we're going to be doing is kicking him repeatedly. Yeah, you're not close enough to do anything. And then Warhammer kick. All right. So the Stinger kicked the building. It's going to take him a while to do anything. The Stalker kicks the Wolverine. 17 damage to the left leg. Is down to 5 armor. Warhammer kicks, hits the center torso. Gets a crit on the center torso because we got to the internal structure, but no effect. All right, so here's what we really care about. My Thunderbolt is up to 6 heat. Warhammer is up to 3, going down to our control checks. So Sparrowhawk must make 1 control check. He succeeds. The F100 needs to make one control check. 29 plus 1, base is 8. He rolls a 5. He's out of control. He loses 6 elevation. He needs to make a control check to clear the terrain on a landing path. He does successfully land, so he doesn't take damage. He doesn't crash, but he's on the ground, which can cause problems for him, depending on what all is happening for him. All right, next up, we lost initiative, which is a bumski. So we'll have to see what that F100 ends up doing. He'll have to end up taking off, and we'll see what he does from there. Man, I really am unhappy that we lost initiative. Shoot. We'll just do that. That should be okay. Thunderbolt, we'll just get him to back up a little bit, because I'm guessing the Stinger won't move, but as soon as I move up next to him, he's going to jump behind me, which is going to be annoying. And we'll get this Warhammer to move on up into here. Like, I lost initiative a lot, and this is no good. And the Wolverine is still prone. No, he got up and walked away. But he put himself into a really bad position with this Warhammer, because he's down 1 elevation, which means I'm just going to kick him in the head and take his head off, I hope. All right. So they bled off a lot of velocity, I think, because I don't see. So the Flyers, the way it works for them is you've got your velocity and your acceleration. They have a certain amount of acceleration every turn that they can utilize, and then the amount of velocity that they carry from one turn to the next is what determines how far they go. And so you can bleed off velocity by climbing. You can gain a little bit of velocity by descending or by accelerating. And when you accelerate, you have to use the velocity. So they've bled off most of their velocity at this point. The downside is they're out of range for a lot of stuff. And then this dude is still sitting on the ground, I think. What's your elevation? Don't see his, his altitude is 0 and his velocity is 0, so we'll have to kind of see what he does next turn. I think he'll have to make a check to get off the ground. Okay. Well, either which way, you're out of range, so we'll fire, 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 fire. That's like more guaranteed damage than the SRM6's, because the large laser guaranteed 8 damage. The SRM6, it's potential damage of 12, but minimum of 2. So I think I'd rather have the guaranteed 8 damage here. Plus, energy is free. Ammo costs money. Remember, kids. That's the firing arc. Okay. Shoot. That's unfortunate. And it's saying it's out of range because reasons I actually don't know. I don't know why it's out of range, but it is. That's fine. Everything is fine. We will just skip this one. So the Stinger jumped onto a CF-104 building. The Stinger weighs 20 tons. If I knew I could do 85 damage to a building, then I would shoot the building and just knock the Stinger, but I can't, so I won't. Just making sure I can't hit those. I can't hit you. You're on the ground, so I can't hit you. Okay. Not a lot I'm doing there. And then for you, my friend, I think you're about to have a very bad day. So I'm still at 4 heat. I should be able to cool all of that off, even with shooting all my short range stuff. Yes, I can. Oh, poor guy. Long story short, the Wolverine exploded. SRM6 got hit. He went boom. He is no more. He ejected, and the pilot blacked out. Somehow, he was able to land successfully while he was unconscious, but I'm not going to ask questions. So we'll move past anything that was shooting at the Wolverine, but the Wolverine did manage to get some shots off at the Warhammer, hitting the right leg with a large laser. Beam laser also hit the left leg, so we're down to internal structure. Now we have critted the upper leg, meaning it'll add to any of my piloting skill checks. More of the Warhammer exploding, the Wolverine exploding, more of the Wolverine exploding, and more of the Wolverine exploding. And yet more of that poor Wolverine exploding. Okay, and I had to make a check to make sure I could stay standing because I had a leg hit or an actuator hit, and I succeeded. Okay, great. I don't think we need to do any melee attacks or physical attacks. Should be fine. All right, skip attack. So I think the Stinger is probably going to keep bouncing around to places where it can keep kicking that building. Okay. So I think I just have to be able to make it so it can't jump anywhere safely. Or they could lose initiative and they have to jump anyways, which is very helpful. We can go here and pick up a pilot. What's the height of that building? It's a height 3, so he won't be able to kick me from there, which is nice. I mean, I think I just hang out here and shoot him in a minute. The only thing I'm worried about is if those flyers come flying overhead, then that could create some problems for me. So we'll do that just to make sure I've got some choices. This Warhammer, we're just going to back up a little bit. And actually, quick question for the world. Defend the base against incoming enemies. So destroyer route, 50% of the attacking forces, Draconis Combine Op 4. Technically, I've done that. I'm going to add a challenge to myself, though. I think that I need to destroy 100%. So I need to destroy the Stinger, too. Otherwise, what's the point here? Because, these guys are unknown hostiles. I don't have to worry about destroying them, fortunately. If I did, this would be a whole different monster. Okay, move. Which means I need to actually focus down the Stinger regardless. So let's get movement. And Cheetah flew off the map. The F-100 is still stuck on the ground. It looks like maybe just took off. No, it's still stuck on the ground. That's awesome. And then the Sparrowhead hasn't gotten enough velocity to be able to do much yet. So why don't we just turn? And we can shoot at you for funsies. LRM 10s. And that's all that we can probably... Oh, no, we can hit with a large laser. That'll work. Done firing. With this Warhammer, let's twist it up. And it'd be 9s to hit, so I think that's very reasonable to go ahead and try lighting up. With the Warhammer against the Stinger, just for fun. What's the... Yeah, no, that's not worth it. It's not worth it to try to collapse the building. But we can go ahead and use all of our other weapons to try to cause some problems with the Stinger. And then the Thunderbolt, same kind of a deal. The Stinger isn't going to make it through this turn, so it's okay if we get a little hot. All right, so we were able to smack the Sparrowhawk with an LRM-10, maybe throwing it out of control, but it still has plenty of armor. Also hit with a PPC. Still has plenty of armor, though, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there. The Stinger takes... We're just going to see if it takes a lot of hits, because I think it just takes a lot of hits. Lots and lots of hits. Gets smacked on the gyro. Oh, interesting. The unknown hostiles also shot at the Stinger. They're equal opportunity providers, friends. And then Stinger does hit the Warhammer in the left leg, left arm, and left torso. But fortunately, it's just a medium laser and a couple of machine guns, so it's not too bad. Then Thunderbolt misses with everything. Look at this. Rolls a 4, rolls a 6, rolls a 5, rolls a 4, rolls a 3, rolls a 4. Anybody tell him he's not golf? Second hit on the gyro and a hit on the engine, though, with the SRM-2. So I'm not going to complain about that. His center torso has 3 internal structure left. I think I see where this is going. Oh, I didn't see that. I did not see a PPC going straight through the center torso and taking the engine with it. So the F-100 is just taking shots from the towers. Phoenix Hawk also attempts to do things to the Stinger, but not a lot left of the Stinger. So with that, we have now destroyed 100% of the OPFOR, which means we get to type that beautiful /victory. So we don't have to worry about any physical attacks because there's not actually very much for us to do. And I don't want to kick the pilot, so we're going to pick up the pilot. See, down here, pick up the pilot. But Sparrowhawk must make 2 control checks. He is out of control. Friends, it is bad when your plane goes out of control while you're flying at like Mach 4. Bad news bears. So, loses 6 elevation. Is hit by falling debris for 11 damage. And takes 11 damage to the left whatever. Takes a crit. Crashes, suffering 7 damage. Lots of bad things happen. Suffers catastrophic damage. But yeah, the pilot takes a couple of hits. The Sparrowhawk is destroyed. And bad things happen. That's unfortunate for them, but good for us. Done. We win. Go us. Yes, I would love a GIF or a GIF, however you say it. B4. No, I don't need the salvage. And we're done. And we were the victors, so we are controlling the field of battle. Most things are undamaged. The Warhammer did take some moderate damage. It'll need some love, but all the pilots are okay. The Cheetah and the F-100 most likely did escape, but at least we got a little bit of money from the Stinger and the Sparrowhawk. We should be getting probably 450,000 from that or so. Next. No, we definitely preserved those, and we definitely preserved those. Those did not go anywhere. We succeeded in our objectives, friends. So we did all of those things. This is good. This is very good. It was a victory finish. Voila. And we got 525 C-bills, 525,000 C-bills. That's great. Infirmary, no unassigned patients. Cool. This is good. This is very good. We'll just have to wait for our mechs to get back. We'll do repairs and we'll wait for the next shoe to drop. All right, so the Highlander, we're not doing anything with Stalker though. We can definitely do things with that. Get some love for our Ultra Green. We're very fortunate on this contract that we have a maintenance facility that we can utilize. Without the maintenance facility, repairs would not be this easy. Because, I mean, maintenance facility drops the requirement or the roll by 2, which is awesome. Yeah, that's fine. All right, cool. Give it a turn. Yep. And with that, we have to decide if we want to buy that Gladiator or not. We need to decide if we're going to buy that Gladiator. But you know what? I think we're going to go to the last day of the month, see if anything happens. Which doesn't look like anything's happening. Okay, we're going to stop here. So, the question I'm going to leave with you guys. They're asking 5.5 million C-bills for the Gladiator. It's a medium mech. This is the GLD-4R. 55-ton mech. It's a 585. And, you know, you get a couple of medium lasers, a PPC, an SRM-6. What do you guys think? Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Should I get the Gladiator? Add that to my repertoire. Maybe use that to replace one of the mechs that I have in Baker Lance. Maybe I need something other than a Blackjack. Not a huge fan of the Blackjack anyways. Or do I forego it, wait until the next contract when maybe I can salvage something that I can use on my own? Or do I wait and see something comes better next month? Let me know what you think. Leave a comment. And if I have enough people leave a comment saying I should buy it, first thing I'll do with the next stream is I'll buy myself a Gladiator. Otherwise, if I don't get comments, then I'll just do what I feel is best. But I think that's where I'm going to leave everybody for right now. If you're watching on YouTube, please, if you're enjoying this, leave a like, leave a comment. I hope you're enjoying it. And if you want to see more, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. For anybody who's been watching on Twitch, I really appreciate you spending some time here with me today. I hope that you've been enjoying the content. I'm hoping to stream during the day tomorrow for just a little while, but we'll kind of see how things go. Otherwise, the next stream will probably be either this weekend or next Monday for a Monday Night Mechs. I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and we will see you later. Take care.